It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by Thru-Hull, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, Thru-Hull has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
Thanks again for tuning into ShipShape TV. I'm your host, John Greviskis, and with us again today is our technical advisor to all of the boat improvement projects out here at ShipShape, Burt Dell.
Good to see you again.
Now, Burt, what project are we going to be doing today?
Today, John, we're going to be plumbing out a live well on one of our project boats.
Now, some of the tools that we're going to need for the project are some wrenches, we're going to need a drill, Teflon tape, some Thru-Hull fittings, some hose clamps, and marine sealant. Now, the plumbing techniques that we're going to show you today can be used in a wide variety of marine applications, and a proper plumbing installation is just another way to make your boat ship-shape.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ship shape means trouble-free. Ship shape means being neater. Ship shape makes boat work easier. Ship shape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape, America's favorite boat improvement show, is being brought to you in part by the paint professionals at Cape Marina, located in Port Canaveral, and by WLRQ Light Rock 99.3 FM, playing the best light rock from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and by Boathouse Discount Marine. If you need it, we probably have it.
We're back out here on location at Seminole Boat Yard in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and I'd like to just thank the guys for letting us use this great facility. We're talking about marine plumbing today on ShipShape, and Burt, is there anything special that we need to consider?
Well, a lot of people get nervous when you drill a hole in the bottom of the boat, but with the proper material and the right know-how, it's not a problem.
This is a custom live well that we're putting into the boat. How important is that live well to fishermen?
Well, everybody knows you get more hits with live bait. Fishermen love live bait, and it's actually a necessity on a fishing boat.
Are a lot of guys putting live wells on their boats?
Actually, John, we've had a lot of write-ins asking us to cover this topic.
Well, why don't we do this? You go ahead and get set up for today's project, and while you're doing that, I'm going to drive on over to Boat Owners Warehouse and see my friend Larry Cooper. Oh, and while I'm on the road, if there's something that you're interested in having us cover, please drop us a line.
Write down your inquiries and send them to ShipShape TV, P.O. Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, 33420. Or fax us your suggestions at area code 561-626-4348.
And if we use your suggestion on the show, we're going to go ahead and send you out a ShipShape t-shirt absolutely free. Right now we need to hear a word from our sponsors, but please stick around.
No more frozen snaps and zippers with the Thru-Hull Snap Stick. The easy-to-apply wax is specifically designed to lubricate snaps, zippers, and other mechanical fasteners that are susceptible to corrosion. Add protection and lubricate valuable parts in just a matter of seconds. Stop fighting with snaps and zippers and add a quick dab of water-resistant Thru-Hull Snap Stick. Thru-Hull, clean and simple.
Welcome back to ShipShape TV. I'm John Greviskis, and we finally made it to Boat Owners Warehouse in Riviera Beach, Florida, where with us today is my good friend Larry Cooper, who's also the store manager. Larry, great to see you.
Hey John, how you doing today?
I'm doing super. Now Larry, we're plumbing a live well today, and we needed to know what parts we should have for the project.
I've got everything laid out that we're going to use in this project. We've got a couple of bronze through-hulls, a couple of bronze ball valves with stainless handles, a Rule 500-gallon-hour bait well pump, a couple of plastic through-hulls for the bait well itself, some Shields heavy-duty hose, Teflon tape, 5200 sealant, and some miscellaneous hose clamps.
Now, Larry, why do we need bronze through-hull fittings?
Well, this application we're going through the hull, below the waterline on the discharge, so we want the strength of the bronze.
Okay.
And then also with some boats that they use an inner liner as well as the outer hull. And if the two flex with plastic, you'll end up a chance of popping the plastic apart and then losing a boat over it.
You could actually sink.
Correct.
So that's not good. So whenever you're doing a through-hull fitting below the water line, it's always good to use a bronze or brass
Correct, yes.
application.
Yes.
Okay, super. Now, on this Rule live well, this pumps 500 gallons an hour. How do you know what size pump to have for your live well?
We kind of go by the size and of the bait well itself.
Okay.
For this application, the 500 will work well.
All right, great. Can you adjust this at all?
That you can't. You could slow it down if you wanted to by putting a ball valve in the line with it, and you could control the flow of it.
Now, don't different baits need different circulation?
Yeah, your goggle eyes is one of the ones that needs a lot of water flow for them.
And
Otherwise
this
they
is an
die.
adequate pump for goggle eye
Yes.
as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
In this pump, in this bait well size that we're using.
Super. Now, we're going to be bringing water into our live well with a 3/4 inch tube setup. We're going to have a discharge of 1.5 inches. Why is there a difference?
Because we're going to be pushing in a lot of water, and it's going to be under a pressure, being forced in, and it's just going to free flow out.
Gotcha.
So that's why we're with the larger size
Understood.
going out.
What do we need the 5200 for, Larry?
5200 we're going to put on our through-hulls when they go through the hull. We're going to put a bead around here. I'm going to put it through, tighten the jam nut out, and it'll force it to mushroom out around the side.
That's going to make it watertight.
Right, and it'll also help hold and seal the through-hull in there.
Great. What are we looking at ballpark for the parts?
Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $150
About
on this
100.
installation.
Okay, super. We've got to head on back to the boatyard and see how Burt's coming along. Larry, I thank you for the advice. Thanks for the parts. We'll see you soon.
All right, John, thank you.
Well, here we go, Burt. Larry really set us up. We got ourselves a nice live well pump, including all of our fittings. Nice ball valve, elbows, and our through-hull fitting. What do we do first?
Well, let's install the through-hull fitting for the discharge, John.
Sounds great.
Now, when you're installing your through-hull fitting, the first thing you want to do is make sure that the surface is clean where you're going to apply your marine sealant. You don't want any oils or waxes that can cause your sealant to disbond. I'm going to go ahead and apply the sealant to our through-hull fitting using 5200. Makes a great seal. Put a generous portion on here. And we're ready to install. Okay, you ready, John?
I sure am.
Okay.
You want me to just tighten this all the way up? There you go.
Got it with the pliers?
Yeah, let me grab him.
Okay, I'm going to torque it down with actually a homemade socket that I made here to grab the tangs because we can't get a wrench on the inside where we're going to put it. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, now that that is done, we need to go ahead and install our fitting in our live well. This is the nylon fitting that I was talking about. You may remember Larry was talking about brass versus nylon. You want to use brass below the waterline, and it's okay to use nylon above the waterline. Now, before you apply your 5200 to your fitting, you want to make sure that the surface is clean and prepared. Now, I'll apply a generous amount, get some nice squeeze out on it. The 5200 takes about 72 hours to cure. There, that looks like enough. A little more over here. Okay, we're ready to install. Run our jam nut up. And I'll tighten it down with some channel lock pliers.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is attach this bronze 45-degree elbow to our bronze through-hull fitting. But before we do that, we're going to wrap it with some Teflon tape. And we're going to use this Teflon tape for two reasons. One, it's going to give us a nice watertight seal. Secondly, if we ever want to take these pieces off, take them apart, the Teflon tape's going to keep it from seizing. And that's a real nice feature of this Teflon tape, a wise investment. Now, when we put it on, we're going to remember to wrap it in the same direction that you're going to be screwing on the next piece. That's a good tip to help it from binding on you. And I'm going to screw it onto our through-hull fitting here. And I don't want to screw it too tight. Remember, our 5200's on down there. And I just want to screw it on to where I get a nice bite onto our through-hull fitting. And I want to make sure that we're pointing our 45 straight up. And to do that, I'm going to use these. Perfect. Now we're going to put on this ball valve. And how a ball valve works is there's actually a stainless steel ball on the inside, and they drill a hole all the way through it. And when you turn it 90 degrees, I don't know if you can see that, but it shuts off your water supply. Turn it back, and again, lets your water go through. We're going to attach this next. Again, what I'm doing is just screwing it on in a clockwise fashion. And we'll tighten it up again with our pliers. Now we're going to apply this fitting, and that'll pretty much set up our discharge, the bronze portion anyway. Right now we need to go to break, but please stick around.
Do it all with a Shrove telescoping handle. Designed with the easy-to-use Sherlock quick-release system, compatible with over 50 different attachments, transforming it into a deck brush handle, squeegee handle, swivel pad base handle, chamois mop handle, camera handle, floor broom handle, boat hook handle, water blade handle, landing net handle, even a threaded handle for equipment you already own, and more. Fully telescopic for easy storage or adjusting to the perfect length. Each Shrove telescoping handle is proudly made in the USA and is truly the one handle that does it all. Shrove, clean and simple.
Today on Chapman's Corner, we're going to be showing you how to pack a crew-overboard rescue system. And in this particular system that we're going to be using, it's called the Life Sling. So the first thing we're going to have is three parts to this. We've got the attachment that attaches to the vessel, that's the white part. We've got the floating polypropylene line, that's part of the lifeline itself. And then we've got the sling. Most importantly, just like a parachute, you have to properly pack this so when it comes time to deploy it, you're not going to have a mishmash of knots and it's going to flow out very nicely. Take your white line and your yellow line, and that goes in first with the white line hanging out. And now I'm going to take, and I've got 100 feet of line here, and I'm pack this in here very quickly. Once I get all this line packed in, and notice I'm working towards the sling, I pack this whole thing in here, and it takes a couple minutes to do so. Once I get all that in there and packed in, I'm going to now take my sling, put it in like so, pack it down around the center of the line, bam, close it up. And now when it's time to deploy this, I know it's going to come out in a smooth operation. From Chapman School of Seamanship, this is Tom Dante.
Today I'm on a beautiful 40-foot sedan bridge with my good friend Terry Shrove, the T in J&T Yacht Sales. Terry, let's talk about this boat. This is fantastic. I love the way that it's laid out. What are some of the features?
Well, the two primary features I'd like to point out are the molded-in stairs and the center access from the bridge to the bow.
That center access is so unique. I don't know why more boat builders don't integrate that into their boat. but literally you can run this boat yourself.
Yes.
And when you're talking about a 40-foot vessel, that's saying something. But what's the benefit of the integrated stairs?
Well, this is a family-oriented boat line, and we like to incorporate the boating experience to everybody 5 years old and up. And it's difficult to climb up the
So
ladder.
it's a safety feature. The kids can climb up and down the stairs.
Exactly.
Now the stairs do go up into a very nice bridge where you have a very nice panoramic view. I like that. Getting back to the transom of the boat, you have an integrated transom where it looks like you could dive off this boat pretty easily.
Yes, in fact, we've modified the transom to accommodate 8 dive tanks very easily.
That's great. Walking into the salon where we're sitting, you have a nice big sliding glass door. Mainship has really thought about bringing the outside in, and that's what people want when they're getting into this lifestyle of boating, is they want to be able to bring nature into where they're living. But Mainship has thought of all the amenities. I really love this L-shaped sofa here. You also have a nice curved settee, round settee over on the other side. And I like the galley. I like the way Mainship has laid this out. They've thought of the amenities. You have a big refrigerator, big freezer, microwave oven, gorgeous Corian counter, and you have a 2-burner range, as well as, I know this sounds trivial, but you have a deep sink. And if you ever have a shallow sink, you know how it splatters on you? Well, you don't feel too elegant when that happens, but Mainship has thought about that. How many staterooms do you have?
There are 2 staterooms.
Okay.
Centerline Queen is the forward main cabin. It's easy for both parties to get in and out easily and comfortably.
Nice.
The second stateroom is bunk beds. That's to port, and it's great for the kids.
Fantastic. You've got a nice stand-up head, a lot of room. You have a separate shower. Again, very tall headroom, so you can move. You've got that comfort.
Exactly.
And that's what it's about. What's the boat powered by?
This boat's powered by twin Yanmar 230 horsepower.
So you're going to get the efficiency of diesel, and you're going to get that fuel economy. What kind of fuel capacity do you have on the boat?
This boat has 310 gallons.
310 gallons. What is the price, Terry? What are we looking at?
$230,000 for the diesel boat.
$230,000. Gas options available?
Yes, they are, and we have a 96 right now that we are blowing out. The list price on that's $190 normally, and we're selling it for $150.
They're going to save $40,000 by taking that. What's the difference between the 96 and the 97?
Minor little interior decorations, that's all.
How does somebody get down to see you to maybe check out these boats?
Well, they can call us through the ad, or they can reach us on the internet.
Now, what's your internet website?
It's www.iwall.com, show me J&T.
Gotcha. Now, if somebody was coming from 95 or the Turnpike, they would get off in Palm Beach County at the PGA Boulevard.
That's correct.
Head east to Prosperity Farms. You're on the northeast corner of Prosperity Farms and PGA Boulevard. Real quick, give us your phone number.
It's 561-691-0692.
Terry, thanks for being on the show.
All right.
We'll see you soon. Welcome back to ShipShape TV. I'm John Greviskis and this is Burt Dell, and we've been showing you how to plumb a live well today on the show. We've put in our bronze discharge and we've put in our nylon discharge and we've attached it with our 1.5-inch hose. We've also put in our intake, our bronze intake through-hull fitting. Burt, what do we do next?
Next, we need to drill out for a fitting for our feed for our live well.
Okay.
John, the reason that we went ahead and drilled out our hole for our fitting is, before we put our pump on, is we didn't want to get any sawdust or fiberglass dust down in our pump. You know, could bind it up.
That makes sense. That's a good point.
Go ahead and screw our Rules 500 pump on top of our ball valve.
Burt, hang on. Before you screw that in, can you tell us which wire goes where?
Well, it's basically foolproof, John. Our brown wire here has a sticker on it that says positive lead,
Okay.
and your black wire is your ground.
So where's the brown wire going to?
Our brown wire is going to go to our toggle switch on the dash, and the black wire will go to a ground block underneath the console.
Fantastic. So you're screwing it in. What are we going to do? Are we going to run it through your? We're going to run it.
We'll run. Actually, we're going to lengthen our wires.
Okay.
We use a 16 gauge wire, and because I don't quite think we have enough to make the run up there.
We've got to run these through your rigging tubes.
Right.
And get them. So the brown wire is going to go to our dash up here, our helm, and to the toggle switch, and the black wire is going to go to our fuse block. What do we have left plumbing-wise?
The only thing we have left to do plumbing-wise is go ahead and hook up our feed hose from our pump to the fitting that we just installed.
Now again, this is a 3/4 inch inlet hose. This is our raw water pickup, and the reason we're using a 3/4 inch hose for our pickup is it's forced into our live well.
True.
And we're using 1.5 inches because we're using gravity to naturally drain. So you want a little bit bigger opening.
Right.
I see that we're using stainless steel hose clamps. Now, whenever you're working in a marine environment, that is just so crucial to where you're using stainless steel. If we used regular steel hose clamps, they wouldn't last hardly at all.
No, it would not.
Now all we have to do is run our wires, and we pretty much have a live well installed. Well, that about does it. Our live well is complete and completely functional. Again, some of the tools that you're going to need for this project are some wrenches, a drill, a hole saw, Teflon tape, various plumbing fixtures, as well as a good live well pump, hoses, and of course those stainless steel hose clamps. I'd like to thank Burt for the great job that he did on this project, as well as Boat Owners Warehouse for the parts, and my good friends out here at Seminole Boat Yard for use of this great facility. Check out our new internet site. Our address is a spectacular one at www.spectacular.com/ShipShapeTV. Until next week, guys, keep your boat shipshape.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the